Hey trekkers, good Saturday morning. It is June 11th, 2022. I don't know if it's 8:30 or 9 o'clock. I could check, but I frankly don't feel like it. Hey, we're gonna make this quick because the mosquitoes are a little bit brutal when you're not moving. So I'm a little bit, maybe a little bit over a mile and a half in on the Badger State Trail. In very southern Wisconsin. I started at the southern terminus of the trail, which is right on the Iowa-Wisconsin border. And I am walking north towards the city of Monroe. Don't know how far I will get today. Maybe go 5 miles, 6 miles in and turn around and come back. I've got a thought about maybe making a little loop out of a road that might add another extra mile on it, but we'll see how that goes. Got a little bit later start than I was planning on today. Got up at the right time. That was good. And but I started driving north for a hike and then just decided, you know, with the rain that's coming, I'm going to do something different. So I turned around and headed south. And here we are. It is nice and cool. It's only about 63 degrees, but it is 95% humidity. And I'm not exaggerating, it is 95% humidity. The trees were dripping water on me as I drove through the fog on my way down here this morning. Also a little bit later start because at the trailhead met another fellow everyday adventurer. That was a really neat find. When he started talking about the things that he's done, the things he's planning to do, I thought, wow, brother, you are a brother. He finished the Ice Age Trail in 2012, said it took him almost 12 years to do. That sounds familiar. It took me 7 years. He's biked every bike trail in Wisconsin, and he has visited 41 of the 79 Minnesota state parks. He has done every inch of the North Country Trail in Wisconsin and Michigan, and has done the Spear Hiking Trail a couple of times over in little section hikes. That's my kind of guy. A lot of fun. He was waiting for a buddy. They're going to do a bike ride south on the Jane Addams Trail, which is a continuation of the same rail trail that the Badger State Trail is. And that is one I want to set some more feet on. Again, I've done a couple casual walks on it, but I've never hit it. And that was also a debating point. Do I do that today, or do I head north and do the Badger State Trail? And I mentally flipped a coin, and here we are. So that's our story for today, guys. Yeah, follow along. One of the neat parts about the rail trails is the old history. You can see right here the Clarnell Lumber and Supply has taken over the buildings from the old depot. Right around the corner here, private residence, so I don't want to show too much, but you can see this used to be an old feed mill, feed store. This is Shuleyville Road we've come up to here, not quite at 2 miles. I just love the way this road meanders off that way and it dips down around here. That is pretty. Alright, welcome to mosquito hell. Now when people think of rail trails, they think of straight and flat. And that's sort of true. I guess relatively true. This little bit here in front of us looks to be very straight and very flat. And if we look behind us, very straight and very flat. But in actuality, we are kind of in the middle of a wide sweeping curve. And the rail lines tried to keep their grade to around believe it was 2%. I'd have to look that up again, but it's around 2% grade, which isn't very steep. And for obvious reasons, you know, no slippage, less fuel burned, and all of that. But I can guarantee you 100% that for the last 2 miles, I have been walking uphill. And it appears I'm going to continue to be walking uphill at a very slight grade, but it's uphill and for miles. It's 9:45 in the morning here, and just past 4 miles a few minutes ago. And I think we've resolved on a plan here. This trail eventually crosses Highway 69 just south of Monroe. Actually, it might be in the Monroe city limits. That's about, well, if I'm guessing, about 2 miles, almost on the button away. We're gonna find out. Let's take bets on that. But about 2 miles out, that'll be a good turnaround point. You can see the fun little contraption that I have set up, my little headgear. And it looks a little odd, but it serves a very nice purpose. It helps protect my ears and my eyes from the cloud of gnats that have surrounded me and won't go away. And they probably won't go away for the entirety of this trip. Mosquitoes have lessened a little bit now that a little bit of a breeze has picked up, but the gnats don't seem to care. And they love to go for my eyes and my ears, especially my ears. And this really helps and still keeps my vision pretty open. And also I don't roast. It is nice that it's only about 66 degrees, 65 degrees. Even though it is humid, it's still nice and cool. There is rain coming, for sure. Probably have 2 hours left before there's any real threat of any real rain. And I won't be done by then, but I'll be closing in on done. So there's that. Been an interesting trail to some extent. What's unique about it, at least today, is this time of year. As you can see, all the vegetation along the sides, and at times that vegetation has been above my head, not because of the ground being above my head, but because we've had Queen Anne's lace this high. There's been some of it that's been so thick and woody and tall that it's bent over on itself, and it's just kind of unique. Also means bugs. You get views outside the trees of the rolling farmland. I had some really cool views that way. But push out another couple miles here. Old iron rails. They didn't completely take them out. And behind me there is a group of about 10 kids and 3 adults and 2 little dogs. They are taking about a 4.5 mile hike down to a campground just off the trail, which I did not know existed, where they're going to do a camp out. I'll tell you what, you don't see too many people hiking bike trails other than me.
Total distance 5 miles.
Oh, here we go.
Total time 2 hours 18 minutes and 2 seconds. Split pace 22 minutes 13 seconds per mile.
Oop, the pace is increasing. Yeah, unless that bike trail happens to be part of like the Ice Age trail. You just don't see many people out walking it unless they're walking their dogs, especially with full backpacking kit. That is pretty cool. And they're the first people I've seen on the trail today other than at the trailhead. It is 10:27, and that is Highway 69 up there, bridge over the trail, 6.2 miles. And I really could use a break. I'm not sure where that can happen. There just really hasn't been any stopping points around here, and I think the next opportunity for that is probably another mile away. That's not going to happen today. This is going to be our turnaround point. Let's see what I can figure out. It's probably about the worst place you can be laying your eggs. Oh. Sitting here just off the side of Highway 69 on a little garden planting. There was a kind of half-hidden dirt trail that came up to the road, and I started walking along it and thought maybe I'd see a parking lot or something, or a bench, and I was just going to take a break on an electrical box that was out by the side of the road there in the grass. And I was looking at my phone, seeing maybe if there was a park a couple blocks away. There isn't. When I drove in his truck, and hey, he says, I'm like, uh-oh, I'm on somebody's property. And he's a very friendly guy, just wanted to know, out hiking, and this is his property. He just has some cattle and some equipment stored here. He checks on it a few times a day in between his other work, and yeah, he just said, yeah, I'm just my turnaround point, and I was kind of looking for a place to take a break. I got this little electrical box. He's like, well, take a break anywhere up here. And I spied these logs. He said, take as long as you want. Says he likes having the place on the trail, and he gets lots of people that walk by, and he likes to talk to them and find out what they're doing, where they're from, and bonus, this is a great break spot. It's not as buggy as the trail. Be a nice little spot to take a break. I like it. Well, alrighty. Short little 15-20 minute break there. And we'll make our way back and hopefully beat the rain, though I don't think that's going to happen. As it turns out, if I'd have kept going on the trail north for about maybe another 200 yards, tops, there's another park with a bench and a bike rack. But really neat. Got to meet a landowner. I like doing that. Landowners along the trail. It's always kind of nice, and it's nice when they, as I said before, it's nice when they appreciate that you appreciate where they're at. So not much of a conversation with the guy, but just friendly banter back and forth, and he very quickly offered to let me use his little piece of property to take a break. Neat little spot. It's the only spot along the trail here today where I've seen sumac. Closing in on 8 miles, which means a little bit less than 4.5 to go, and it is starting to sprinkle. Ha. Yep. Not enough to bring out the umbrella yet. Oh, neat, look at that. But wet time is approaching, and so are the gnats and mosquitoes.
Total distance 10 miles. Total time 4 hours 31 minutes and 13 seconds. Split pace 22 minutes 12 seconds per mile.
And there you go. Just like that. There's less than 2.5 miles to go. Boy, I'll tell you what. Whew, I could use a sit-down break somewhere, but there just is not a good spot. You know, you could make something out of that, but there are plants in here that you do not want to get rubbed up against if you don't have to. Sometimes bushwhacking is called for, and that's just what happens. But you'll pay for it. Oh, well, it's been a very pleasant morning. It's about 12:15 right now, so we're into the afternoon. And like I said, a little bit more than 2.5 miles to go, so we got less than an hour at the current pace, and we'll be done. It was kind of interesting, as I mentioned a lot of times, that I get these earlier starts and I get the trail to myself for a while, and that was so true, other than the person at the trailhead, which is a great conversation. I saw my first other person on the trail, those backpackers, at about 9:30, 9:40, somewhere in there. And they would have gotten started probably about 8 o'clock themselves as well. But I didn't see them till then. And then after that, I saw a handful of bicyclists, a couple of groups of bicyclists. And then on the way back here, I've seen them coming back. I don't know, probably a total of 14 people. Oh, been good though. We got to see in Clarno, and we'll get to see it again. We got to see kind of the way the town was structured around a depot and a rail stop. See a turtle laying eggs, and treated very well by a resident of Monroe. And when I come back and do the part of this trail that goes through Monroe, talk a little bit more about that little city. It's worth talking about in a positive light. Hey there, trekkers, taking a break here at the side of a road, and there's almost exactly 2 miles to go, so we got a little bit less than an hour at our current pace, and we'll be done. Been a real pleasant day. The temperatures were very manageable, not sweating buckets, didn't get overheated, anything like that. Even had to wear the old head net, which usually warms me up pretty good. Oh, it was kind of nice. There weren't all that many people out on the trail here, but everybody was really friendly, and the folks that I came across, it was pretty nice. I liked it. There was some good time to be on my own, and time to see some people, a couple of conversations. Can't beat that. Yeah, these little rail trails, they don't offer a ton, but if you travel along the miles that they do provide, you're going to see some interesting things. And I'm kind of keen on local history and whatnot, which is hard to come by and hard to find out from people what it's all about. But just up the road here, up the trail here at Clarno, we got to see the old depot and an old feed store that are been repurposed as a lumber yard and a private residence. But you'll see that kind of stuff along the way. We've got to see an old iron rail that they just decided to pave over. They cut it off, paved over it, and called it good. I don't know, just little interesting things like that. The way trees lay, the plants are, and down here in this part of the state, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, you have this kind of backdrop, these rolling hills and farm fields, which if you can just imagine them being prairie, you can really spark your imagination. But I think that'll pretty much do it for today here, guys. We'll wrap up the last 45 minutes of walking and go find some lunch.